ओम सदाशिवसमारम्भां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. So we saw that Atha Shabda referred to Sadhana Chatushtaya. Okay. Up to now, any questions, clarifications, or it's all clear? Just the Atha Shabda, okay? Okay. Now here I have to point out something. Why is it? What's that? Close the door? Okay. Yeah, a little. There is a program in the hall below. Okay, now, why are the qualifications so elaborately mentioned? It's important to understand that. Okay? It's important to understand that. If Viveka is there, will Vairagya automatically follow? Not necessarily. Most cases it does, but not necessarily, because you can have a highly critical person then. If only Viveka is there, you will become a critic for yourself and others both. Yeah. Anything Panditaha dosha darshanam, we'll say. If you're a Pandita, you will see the faults in everything.
Somebody give example.
Huh?
Examples.
See, I have that Viveka, sharp thinking, this, that, etc. So I have sharp thinking. I see the fault in everything. But I don't have the dispassion to let go and go for mumukshutvam, etc. So Viveka has mumukshutvam backing it, then it has got some sense. So it has to be separately mentioned. It is not that because I have Viveka, I will automatically become a mumukshu. Supposing I have Vairagya but not enough Viveka, what will happen? I will become a recluse. I don't want to interact with anything. Go into my cave. I had a batchmate. If anything goes wrong, he wants to go for Ekantavas. Be there and deal with that issue. Na Ekantavas kya jaya? Vairagya is there, but not backed by enough Viveka. That's why I always put Vairagya as objectivity. Is a reason for it. I have raga, I don't have raga for this, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't. Okay, what? You'll be diagnosed as depressive. Yeah, I don't want anything. No clear focus on the goal then. And what is the height of Nitya Nitya Viveka? Sakshi Bhava. Understand this? Height of it. That's the maximum. You may not need maximum. Optimum is enough. But that is maximum. No? Pure Sakshi Bhava. And in Buddhist tradition, they spend years of practice to get into that. Because it gives you some freedom. No? That Sakshi Bhava itself gives you some freedom, being not affected by the problems, etc. But it doesn't give you moksha. They equate that freedom with having got it done. That's the problem. So if that Vairagya is without Viveka, you become a recluse, you become a this thing, you maybe even become depressive. Because I am not interested in anything. If you are not interested in anything, what will you do? Where is the joy in your life? No joy. I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that. That's not a great student of Vedanta. That's why that old song, na? दुनिया से डर के भागे क्या भगवान पाएगा, something like that. There was a song, na? in some Hindi film songs? Oh, who is into Hindi film songs?
संसार से भागे फिरते हो,
हाँ?
संसार से भागे फिरते हो,
हाँ,
भगवान को क्या पाओगे?
भगवान को क्या
अच्छा,
पाओगे?
चित्रलेखा, चित्रलेखा होगी।
Oh, old time song.
मीना
It's a
कुमारी।
yeah, Meena Kumari, yeah. Because Vairagya without Viveka backing it up. That's why we talk about Smashana Vairagya. You went for a friend's funeral, because there is no meaning in life. Prasuti Vairagya. The pain of child delivery, you say never again. Yeah, it is mentioned in the Shastra, what can I do? I am not inventing it. Whereas my student Gunjan from Delhi said the other way around. She had come to meet me in Delhi in General's house. So they asked her, don't you want another child, etc.? You are very young. No, too much of work. Yeah. No, childbirth is not the issue. After that, all the work. What is the big thing about childbirth? After that, all the work, sir. I have not yet got back into my full-fledged work. Child is 2 years, so 3 years. At least I made a start in Vedanta. So there is some focus in what you want, and accordingly you are adjusting your life. That Vairagya is different. Because it's born of Viveka. What you want out of life, what you don't want out of life. So it has to be mentioned separately. Because many people have one over the other. There is a great Vairagi. He came to Rishikesh. He was working as a doctor in Kerala. Then he left, came to Rishikesh. Bada Vairagi. Sit anywhere, lie down anywhere, not bother whether his clothes did get dirty or not. He used to come and meet me often because English speaking sadhus are few in those days in Rishikesh. I mean, Mallu study Hindi, they are not anti-Hindi like how people in Tamil Nadu are. So, he was managing, study something here and there. Then it turned out why he left. Nashta Bharya, broken love affair. Instead of becoming a Devdas, he became a sadhu. और फर्क क्या है? वैराग्य. But triggered by something like this. Then I talked to him, counseled him about 6 months. Then he applied from Rishikesh, he applied for a job in Bangalore and he got the job. So for a couple of years I kept in touch with him. 2-3 years I kept in touch. After that lost touch. Those type of vairagyas don't last because triggered off by an incident. Triggered off by some grief. No Viveka. Vairagya is there, no Viveka. Viveka, Vairagya is there, but Mumukshutvam is not there, then what's the whole purpose? You become critical, at the same time some objectivity is there. But what are you going to do with that? Moksha Ichha is not there. If Moksha Ichha is not there, you'll be a good human being, but where is the... Yeah, haven't you seen people who are very good human beings, but not come to Moksha? All this they can't relate to. They said you that. That's why Mumukshutvam has to be mentioned separately there. Very, very important. Mumukshutvam, as I always say, is there in every human heart. The desire for moksha is there, but not discerned, not recognized, hidden, buried under other things. Buried under other things. You are so busy managing life, you don't know where you are going. It happens to a lot of us. First of all, life is one study, preparing for life. Then first job, etc. are most stressful. Then before you know it, you got married and kids. What happened to Mumukshutvam? What happened to your teenage angst when you asked all those fundamental questions? Buried under the pots and pans of life. That's what happens to love also, not gets buried under pots and pans.
Swami, can I ask a question? So why free will is not mentioned anywhere? Because as I see, free will is also very, very important.
Free will is a given. Free will for human beings is a given. From childhood onwards, you have free will.
Yeah, but it's not realized,
No, of course, people use free will is used. Free will is used because everything you are going to use your will. Unless you are been so conditioned in childhood with a sense of entitlement, for example, then you wait for some fairy godmother to give you things. But barring that, free will is used. How much they use the question? See, people use free will. What they don't recognize is the bias and conditioning they have picked up. Because they don't recognize that, you have samadhama coming into the picture. Shat sampatti. Because sama is what? Mastery of the mind. Therefore, you have to apply that vairagya towards your mind also. No? Only then sama will come in. Shamaha will come in only then. Samadhama, where are you going to get samadhama? You're full of all the conditioning, the bias, asasthan, etc.
Swamiji, the Viveka and Vairagya, and after that Moksha. So Viveka, Vairagya and Moksha, there is a huge gap in between. No?
Yeah, but mumukshutvam, I'm not talking about moksha, I'm talking about mumukshutvam, the quality.
So the thing is that when there is like teenager, so the Viveka, Vairagya will be high, and that time you don't have.
Correct.
The more you get into life with wife and children and all, the attachments become so deep, so Viveka and Vairagya will come down.
Viveka Vairagya also grows with the way experience of life.
Yeah.
You understand, this thing doesn't work, that thing.
So after that, for mumukshutvam, it requires so much courage, because then at that time
Once again, mumukshutvam does not require courage.
No, because if somebody tells me I'm not a this, I'm not a that, I'm not a mother, I'm not a Hindu, I'm not a
Once again, that is not mumukshutvam, you are mistaking. Mumukshutvam is the desire for moksha.
Yeah.
After all that comes in the learning. So without Viveka Vairagya, if you are going to come into the learning, naturally you will be disturbed. What nonsense is this guy talking? Because Viveka Vairagya is not there. Mumukshutvam, the desire for moksha. Now if your mumukshutvam is there but Viveka Vairagya is not there, what will happen? Mumukshutvam is there, strong. Viveka Vairagya is not there. फिर क्या हो जाएगा? No, you will fall for all the characters on the net. Every guy who offers a technique you will fall for.
That is what is happening now.
But exactly what's happening now. Mumukshutvam is high. Viveka Vairagya is missing. Free will, independent thinking. I am not going to go to somebody. So I will pick and choose. Buffet approach. Any technique, anything. First there was simple Reiki. Then there's rainbow Reiki, this Reiki, that Reiki. Now there are 300 varieties of Reiki. Nonsensical.
So it is effective in many cases.
And everyone falls for it. Money mantra course. And at the end of doing the money mantra course, I could pay my bills. Arey, paying my bills are given here, we all do it. Sadhus pay their bills. What the heck? Money mantra course should make you a millionaire, if not a billionaire. Then I will say, हाँ बराबर है करके paid my bills. My maid pays her bills. Not once she has come to me, I couldn't pay my bill for my phone, that's why you couldn't contact me. There was a big deal about paying your bills after a money mantra course. Yeah, at least become a millionaire, if not a billionaire. Then I'll say, हाँ बराबर है, ठीक है. But that doesn't give you moksha anyway. So try any gimmick, try any this, every gimmick will fall for. Because Viveka is not there, mumukshutvam is there. Can't blame the people. I realized this long back. I was in school. There was a magazine called, I think, Pageant or something. Old magazine. So, for a series here, articles, how to make money. So, an old racket went on for a few months. So, the last article was last point email. Handle every month you would handle 2-3 points. Last month, I have made my money, now you all make yours. At least the guy had the honesty to say that.
You say, no, Amitabh Bachchan has become crorepati. Otherwise, other people, nobody knows.
Exactly. And what type of teacher is that? Another profession. Running these type of things becomes a profession, a gimmick. Actually, exploit. If at the least, it is the. At the worst, it's exploiting the gullibility of the people. Like this lady came. I said, I have to send some kid. Can I send? Yeah. I studied consciousness access bar. It works very well with children. I said, good, should I send the kid? No, send the parents. The parents have to do the course. It's only 20,000 rupees per person. 2 days. And then they can work on the kids. And they'll give consciousness access bars, whatever that means. Then they'll have some technique. That type of consciousness I will access for you. Very nice. Not only see consciousness, see what beyond consciousness, the unconscious, see stars coming out, everything. Nonsense going on. So you will fall for any gimmick because mumukshutvam is there, but viveka is not there. So can you see? I mean, we say Brahma Sutra from first class onward, viveka, vairagya, etc. But understand why all that has to be said. Why there is an intermingling of the world. Then all my bias is somehow mastery of my mind. Handle your anger, your emotions. I was in school and I used to get angry very much. And I had a reason for it. My father is an angry man. So genetics, Until my boxing coach said there is no gene for genetics. You get angry in the ring, you will get whacked. Barabar, you get whacked because you lose your thinking, fighting skills, which is based on thinking you lose. I learned hard way. I better learn to handle my anger. You have to process. And parents pass it on to their children also. How many kids I have seen having problems with anger? Sometimes the ulta, being unable to access the anger that they are having. Why? Because some parent was extra angry. Nowadays there is a new term for this, generational trauma. Okay. You can give all the new names you want in psychology. The fact is, you couldn't deal with your anger, that's all. So your children also are suffering a bit. Help them a bit. Go tell sorry to them. Let them go for therapy. Or come to someone like me. So, samaha important. Any emotion that you have, you can process it only with your thinking. You need to process all the emotions you are under. Some of these 20 years back, I'm okay now. But 20 years back, you are traumatized by that event. You have pushed it into your subconscious, it is still there. That's why parenting is a good thing. Why you will become at least aware of it. Because you will respond in that from that subconscious issue into your parenting. So if you are self-aware enough, you will recognize that. So deal with that. Meditation is good. Why? When the conscious mind is quietened, the subconscious issues will come up. Deal with it at that time. Don't push it back again to the no, I should not be like that. Push it back. No. Let it come up. Let it have its play. You're getting a second chance to deal with it. Deal with it. But until you deal with it, You need Dhamma, that physical discipline of not responding, of purely, not responding, it's reacting from an emotion. Dhamma. एक चढ़ा के दिया हुआ है, spontaneously I got angry. There is no spontaneous anger. Okay? It's a reaction. There gave me a decision, got angry. You evaluated the decision. Does it deserve a whack or not? Then you thought about it. Yeah, I think it deserves a whack. Then you go and whack it is different. That's action at least. It's not a reaction. You say things which you didn't mean to. Then you later on you have to apologize and say, sorry, I didn't mean it. Huh? Why did you say it if you didn't mean it? So Dhamma at the discipline. Dhamma will include all your disciplines of taking care of yourself, etc. Every discipline of yourself, without it becoming a condition. That's also important. Because if these two are not there, your learning is compromised. The teacher said something that triggered off some emotion and you went haywire. In my public classes, sometimes I see somebody getting upset. Why? Because something I said triggered out something. I don't even know what was triggered off. Okay. I wonder if those who came for the camp noticed. One lady who stopped attending my class. She didn't say a thing. No, I'm not going to attend somebody's class. It's a Westerner. I never seen her. I don't know her from Eve. Something triggered it off. Something about me, my personality, my way of being. Something triggered off. Sama issues. Because half the people who come, you have not met the teacher before. That's a camp like that. It's perfectly fine if you don't want to attend. I can't relate to this person, I'm not attending. It's a decision like that, perfectly fine. But if it's triggered or something, then deal with the trigger. And then decide whether you want to attend or don't attend. After that, you may still decide not to attend, which is fine. I don't have to be Jagat Guru. Okay. One problem of this campus, I couldn't really interact with everyone. I like to interact with everyone so that I get to know their background, where they come from. Too many numbers, no? 135 people, where are you going to interact with everyone? Unless they take the initiative, or I just smile at them, they'll come and talk, then fine. Samadhamma issues. Very important. This is the sadhana in Vedanta. Samadhamma. That is the area which everyone can do some work on. So that has to be mentioned because this will back up your Viveka Vairagya. Without this Viveka Vairagya will not happen clearly. Then, Uparati, lifestyle issues, big thing. Uparati literally means a peace and balance, an inner voice that you have. That's the literal meaning of Uparati. Uparama, Shanta, Shanto, Danto, Bhutva. So, Samadhamma is connected. In fact, many books will say, if you are Samadhamma, Uparati will follow. To an extent, correct. Thanks. To an extent, that is right. If there is Samadhamma, Uparati will follow to an extent. But it is also connected with lifestyle, because your lifestyle can influence peace. So many books you will find Vividisha Sannyasa as Uparati. For the sake, Viveka Vairagya Mumukshutvam is there, Samadhamma is there, abhi kya karna hai? Vividisha Sannyasa is Vedtum Ichha. Out of the desire to know, you have walked out of home and things like that. That is one meaning. Other meaning is Karma Yoga Nishtha. Because Sannyasa is optional, Karma Yoga is mandatory. Karma Yoga Nishtha. Living a life of karma yoga, so then actually you are balanced. Things go right or wrong, or what you get what you want, you don't get what you want, you get the opposite of what you want. You're balanced. That uparati comes as a result of either of these lifestyles. So karma yoga nishta, Ishwararpana buddhi, prasada buddhi gives you that uparati. Very necessary. Without that, what are you going to do? You're sitting in a class and worrying about what's happening at home. May maid has come or not? Big worry in Bombay. Maids rule Bombay. Normally she texts me and I text her back. She has not texted. So you're sitting in the class looking at your phone with your maid has texted you or not. नहीं आया बाकी बात में जाके देखेगा क्या करना है. So, acceptance. I'm not saying don't care, I'm just saying accept that. He didn't come until the time you walked out. Okay, accept. Doesn't come. If you have to do some work, prasada. Don't do it. It's okay, prasada. That's सब कुछ every day, you have to do every day. You don't exercise every day, but you clean up your room every day. What type of priority is that? You don't exercise and take care of your body every day, but you clean up the room and this thing every day. So that room is more important than your body. What a misplaced sense of priority. Why? Because you are judging your capacity as a homemaker based on the room. क्या बात है, सब उल्टा प्रायोरिटीज हो गया. Your mind is more important than your body. Your body is more important than your house. It is that order of priorities that has to go. I am not saying all of you maintain your house like how I maintain mine. I am not saying that. Mine is a bachelor pad. So bachelor pad level of maintenance will be there. It is clean, it is neat. थोड़ा books इधर उधर रहता है. I mean, that is bhushanam for a scholar, no? Piles of books all over the place. That is not dushanam, that is bhushanam. That is not a fault, that is a glory of being a scholar. You are referring to 50 books every day. So they are all over. What? Sanchit, when he walks into his professor rooms, how the rooms will be. So, samadama uparati. Another important quality, titiksha. See, look at the link between all. Titiksha. Because, why titiksha? Because we are too comfort oriented. Comfort oriented meaning you can't see that you are independent of the body and body is dependent on you. You always think, I am independent but I am dependent on the body. Why? Because you are giving into the demands of the body all the time. So titiksha is said, okay, physically you are uncomfortable, let it be. Reva de. Garam hi hai, reva de, garam hi hai. What do you expect? April, May in Bombay, what do you expect April, May in Bombay to be? Hot. Or kya? One of the 3-month course students went and asked Saksha, Swamiji, I'll pay for it. Can I fit an AC in my room? I would have thrown him into the Ganga if I was. Saksha ji was kind. Now, if someone is not well, sick, etc., I can understand that. That's a different thing. Titiksha, this is okay. You come to study in Rishikesh and it is May. Of course it's hot. What do you expect? Fan hai na? Both ho gaya. Our time fans are also around. Fans were there, but power cut for 4 hours minimum every day. And at peak times, afternoon time. नाइट तो क्या करेगा? गंगा है ना, कूलिंग डिप इज अवेलेबल. Cooling dip is available. Go sit in the Ganga. Have a dip and come out. You'll feel fine for the next few hours. See, if titiksha is not there, you will get disturbed in your class, in your meditation, in your everything. If titiksha is not there, your commitment is compromised. You have to walk all the way from Jhadi to Kailas Ashram to study. Yeah, you walk. Samji, you didn't keep a scooter and things like that. वो 2 रुपया 5 रुपया मिलता था, उससे सोप लेता था. अभी स्कूटर रखने के 70,000 rupees किधर? Even if someone was going to offer me at that time, I would say no. It's part of the tapas of them. Titiksha. Otherwise, your commitment is compromised. Yeah, you have there 1 kilometer morning going and 1 kilometer coming back. No, but the Guru is kind, no? 6 o'clock class is only in summer. Winter it is 6:30. So, अपना grace मिलता है ना. It's very cold, so walk faster now, you'll warm up. He didn't even bother about it. Titiksha. Otherwise, commitment is compromised. No? Your commitment to learning gets compromised if titiksha is not there. So look at the link. Every one point that has been said is important. You have to see what is there, even though they are interlinked, you have to pay attention to each other. Correct. Modern, this thing, titiksha is very lacking in many of the students. It's only, see, if you are coming for a camp and you find certain things missing, I can understand that. Like for one of the students, the camp life was roughing it out. Even though camp for all of us find it pretty comfortable. He comes from a background, this is roughing it out. But he was the last person. He wouldn't crib. He would take everything in his life. Why? Commitment to learning was there. Titiksha comes in. A strong commitment to learning. So titiksha. Shraddha. Now, Shraddha, I don't always insist too much on the Shraddha. But I find that Shraddha is necessary. Why? Otherwise, you will react when the Guru points out something that you need to know or you need to do or something to correct. You will react out of hurt, pain, anger rather than learning. That learning mind will come only if Shraddha is there. I said, my Guru has been dismissive of me sometimes. Why did he say that? Are you going to question and learn or going to react? I told you that example. No? This person asking, a senior study group seva, asking Swami Chinmayan, Swamiji, I have been meditating for 20 years, nothing is happening. Swamiji looks and says, nothing will happen. People laughed. And in the laughter, I thought, oh my God, he's saying nothing is happening. That means it's not an event. This was way before I joined the ashram, way many years before I even decided to join. No, it's not an event, it's not this. That guy got upset. I was asking for everybody. After all, I am a senior study group. So what if you are a senior study group sevak? He is your Guru. What is he saying? Why is he saying it? If you can't understand, go and discuss with him afterwards. If Shraddha is there, you will understand without having to discuss. But okay, I can understand. So Go discuss. Why did you say that? What is this thing? That Shraddha is important at any stage. 3 years before Puja Swamiji's Samadhi, some astrologer told me, looks like your guru is not happy with you. I said, what? Not happy with me? हो नहीं सकता. Anyway. So I wrote, this is what the astrologer has said. I can't even imagine disturbing my guru in any way. So if anything is there, please tell me. I am yours to command. I wrote that. I am yours to command. The typical warrior language. I am there. Of course, he wrote back saying, forget that reading. I am very happy with you. But that's the Shraddha, na? Hey, हो सकता है तो check, double check, na? I know I have not done anything wrong, consciously or unconsciously. But check up. That comes from Shraddha. But I have been teaching for more than 30 years. Abhi kya hai ye? So what? You've been teaching for 30 years, he's your guru. As simple as that. So that is Shraddha. So because enough necessary so that if something like this happens, you will have a learning mind, not a reacting mind. That's where Shraddha becomes important. So you don't react, you learn. Why is the Guru dismissive of me? I am a good student. He was for whatever his reason. I will never be dismissive of my students. Okay, don't be. Until you find that you have some champions who have to be dismissive. There was the spur of the moment comment he made thinking you could take it. Yeah. Where you reacting? That to prevent those reactions from coming in. The Shraddha is important. The Shraddha is important, so you will do what it takes. You do what it takes. That doesn't mean you can't disagree with the Guru in terms of what you're doing and things like that. There's no point in disagreeing in learning. In learning, if you disagree, you question to understand. But in working, it can happen. Of course, it can happen. Last one, Samadhana. Very, very important. Acceptance of people, the forbearance. Well, those of us who came to the camp and were randomly put with people, you know, very different from you. People you stay in an ashram, you are working, you will meet people who are so different from what you are. It's never more clearer than a full-time course in an ashram. Some will come from very liberal backgrounds. Some will be from very orthodox backgrounds. You accept people with their background, fine. And for the people, as long as the background is not a conditioning, you are fine. So that forbearance and acceptance of people. Because in a relationship, your freedom is proportional to how much you accept the other person. If you can't accept another person, then there is where is the freedom in your relationship? It's like a typical Indian marriage, where for 30 years they are trying to change each other. So 30 years of fighting, okay, you are trying to change each other. I am trying to change her, she is trying to change me. Where do you end up with? Or some men will give in. Then the girl will come and come to me, not the man I married. 30 years you are working on changing him. Now, why are you cribbing? He is not the man you married. Or she is not the girl you married. Acceptance. Acceptance gives you a certain amount of freedom. And especially when it comes to, they are making mistakes. You made your mistakes, and you learned from it, became wiser from it. Trust that you brought up your kid well enough so that the kid will learn from his mistakes. But I want to protect my child from all. You can't. You can't protect your child from all the mistakes. That's why I think this couple, my new, very rich couple. Okay. I don't want my child falling down and getting hurt and all that thing. Child is 2 years old, not started walking, and overweight on top of it. Because always carried around, because falling and getting hurt. Rich family. क्या बोलेगा? And they're great devotees of my teacher. And they're discussing this with me. So I'm in a little difficult situation. So I looked at that kid and said, you know what? You know that walker that is there, no? The child sits and give the child. And there is that ring around. The child is protected now. That's a good one. You should have seen the joy on that kid's face. Freedom suddenly, from being carried around. So within a couple of months, the child learned to walk. How much are you going to protect? If you protect, that's the type of kid you will bring up. Even at 5, you wouldn't learn to walk then. So life is like that. You want to protect your child. How much? If you are too protective, the child will do everything behind your back. And when he gets into problems, he won't come and tell you. Why? My dad will never allow me to do something like this again. He'll curb my freedom. So don't tell him only. But you are in a serious mess. You help me to handle now. I can't tell my dad. क्या बोलेगा? Why? Because lack of acceptance. You see the people as an extension of yourself. They are not. They are not an extension of yourself. Like I told a student of mine many years, 20 years ago, your mom is going to be like that. She is not going to be happy unless she makes you like her. And the student was very smart. She turned and said, Swamiji, then also she will not be happy because she is not happy with herself. Barabar hai na? All this is sign of lack of accommodation, lack of acceptance. Samadhanam is missing. Then you are irritated in your head all the time with every Tom, Dick and Harry. Like that guy like that. I come from a liberal background. Somebody is orthodox. As long as he is not standing on me and expect me to do that orthodoxy, I am fine. You can be orthodox if you want. I am not. I am not. You are fine. That's your life. You live the life you want. You come and tell me, I'll say, Reva de. I can't study from a teacher like this. Please don't. Find somebody else. ये फर्क पैंदे Samadhana and acceptance and discerned mumukshutva. It starts with mumukshutva and it has to become jijnasa. Because mumukshutva is an awareness, it's an understanding that all is not well with my life. Don't worry, be happy, it doesn't work. Positive thinking doesn't work. There are courses in positive thinking which may be good because people think negatively too much. So to counterbalance that, that's fine. But it doesn't work. Your existential issues remain the same. To recognize that whatever you are doing, the freedom you are looking for is not going to come from that. That fullness that you seek is not going to come from anything that you are doing. It's important. Therefore, the fullness I am seeking is myself. If there is enough viveka vairagya, that mumukshutvam will become jnana. Jnatum ichha, the desire to know. Sometimes the teacher has to help convert mumukshutvam into jnana. But for the teacher to work, mumukshutvam should be there. Then what jnana will become? It will become like 2 days I play golf, 2 days I play bridge, 2 days I go for a walk, 1 day I come for Vedanta. It becomes part of your time structuring, retirement activities. Doesn't matter. So the strong moksha. I told you the story, no? Paramananda Guru and Ananda Sishya. Ananda Sishya is, you have been studying from you so long. But why am I not gaining moksha? By the time they are walking, they reach the river for a morning dip. Then go into the river. So in the river, the Guru catches the disciple by the scruff of his neck and pushes him into the water. He's struggling. When the struggle gets a bit weaker, he puts him up. Maharaji, why did you do this to me? You're down there, what did you want? There, nothing more. When your mumukshutvam is that strong, that day you will understand it. It's an arthavada, it's a story. But it's highlighting that you need to have a strong mumukshutvam because your commitment is proportional to that. Your commitment is proportional to how much you want something. Is your moksha ichha high? Or are you going to be distracted by 101 things? There are 100 reasons why you need not be in the class today. Only one reason why you should be in the class. Moksha. I can give you 100 reasons why you should not be in the class. It's important. Mumukshutvam. And that mumukshutvam being converted with the help of the teacher, etc., with the help of the learning, to jnatum ichha, desire to know. If all that samadhama, all that is there, mumukshutvam is not there, you are a wonderful human being. Make a great CEO. Very competent person. You will be good in whatever you are doing. Whatever you are doing, you will do very well. From business to politics to whatever. Excellence. But moksha kya hoga? Your ultimate purpose, what happened? Yeah, there will be times, of course, when something will take you away from something else. That happens. Like in my course, only 2 people managed to attend every class. Full-time course, everyone is staying there. If someone falls ill, someone does something. I had a contract with the government, I had to sail for 6 months. So I must have mixed the maximum. Okay. One was the junior Sanskrit teacher, Prasanna Chaitanya. Every class, like Buddha, he would come and sit there. He looks a bit like Buddha. Other was Bhagwan. Bhagwan was ashram dog. When Swamiji walks in quietly, he'll come and sit behind the blackboard so that nobody can see him, he's not disturbing anyone. And the moment Swamiji finishes and says Om Purnamada, he'll quietly walk out so he doesn't disturb. Every class he has attended. So there will always be times when you'll miss something here and there. Miss a class, miss a camp. It's up to you to see that you keep that to the minimum. You know? Sometimes life is like that, it pulls you off. But what is it that is pulling you off? Have a look at that. One simple thing I have always to do. How important will this be for me 5 years down the line? This occasion. It will be nothing. And why am I missing something which is so important in my life to something which 5 years down the line I won't even remember it? Really. One way, the other way is also, but one easy way. Only 5 years is too long. Okay. 1 year down the line, will this be important? Yeah, it will. Then go. Fine. Yeah. So, all this together, when it is there, understanding the truth is effortless. Because what effort are you doing to understand the truth? The teacher is doing all the effort. He has to unfold all the things. So that is why that Atha Shabda becomes so important. To understand the interplay between all the qualifications. Each is independent by itself, but each has an interplay with the others. Some the interplay is strong, some is not that strong, but it is there. So in that interplay, I understand where my adhikaritam is lacking. What is lacking in me? Like seeing the devotion of some of the other students who were there in the ashram, always this, that, etc. I thought maybe my Shraddha is poor. I found I never get upset at anything teacher is saying. I think my Shraddha is good. Others are reacting. I am not. I am Shraddha.
Jointly and separately.
Yeah. So, look for two things here. Developing each one, checking up each one individually, what is there, what is not there, and looking at that interplay. That interplay makes it beautiful. One supporting the other, whole thing works well. Even Samadhana. I used to say, I don't suffer fools easily. Correct, which is true even today. But India is a free country. If he wants to be a fool, he has the right to be a fool. Can you see he doesn't have the right to be a fool? Accept. At least that much you can accept. Okay, you are being a bit, you are labeling a bit. Yeah, I know. Does that help you accept it? Yeah. Fine. Okay. Or there are people who are very orthodox. If you are my student, I am correct. Like Abhiramanji, one of the greatest experts in India for temple structures, construction. He was there in the ashram. His students were doing the Dakshinamurti Stapana. We never had an independent Dakshinamurti. So he created an independent Dakshinamurti Stapana and he was there for it. His students were there. So one character is coming and saying, Swamiji, for our Shankaramatam this thing, I thought we should approach him and ask him whether he'll come for the Navaratri Puja. I said, what? Navaratri Puja ke din ko aake. But you know, Shankaramatam is strict. He doesn't have that kudumi. He's clean. Shankaramatam is strict. I said, will any of these idiots match up to him in his knowledge? Then are they being strict or are they being orthodox? Because this man, who is an expert in this, is not keeping the kudumi. Kudumi in that lock like that, you wear. You don't say Shankaramatam is strict, say they are orthodox. I know because 40 years I have taught there. I know what the orthodoxy is. I am there, I accept that and I do what I can in them. And I call out their orthodoxy also. Not that they are going to change. I know that also. I said, you don't call him for something like a Navaratri Puja. We will call him for a temple in the ashram to establish that. And he's already said he will come. I spoke to him. Yeah. So, this is a bias you are having. Strict means you think that's the right thing. Whereas the authority He is not following that. And he is living that lifestyle, okay? Every day that Nitya Karma, all that he is doing it. Because that's what his job is, he has to do that. Otherwise he is not ready, he is not fit to do this work. So can you see? Now we student have to accommodate that guy, no? Though you feel like saying like Shuddhananda, उनको मार मार कैसे करेंगे? Shuddhananda उनको मार कैसे? But hey, you accommodate. Yeah, because you have to help them grow also. So the whole play comes of all of them. And Vedanta works well in you and it flows into your life. Nishtha, etc. is easy. That's why Vyasa felt it so important to put it in the very first sutra itself. Atha. Therefore, Sadhana Chatushtaya Anantaram Atha Brahma Jignasa. Then the second Shabda, what it is, all that, we will see a little bit of it, we will see in detail, etc. Next class onwards. So this part was very important to be highlighted. That's why I went into this. Good place to stop.